Okay, that looks good. Let's go to the shared screen. All right, can you see this, Katie?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. All right, so 8651 is a marketing campaign whereby in the course of 1 year with 50 contacts, you can get 86 closings generally. Okay. This is a 35-page document that walks you through it. And by way of introduction of who gave me this, I have a coach that I started with about 20 years ago when I first started on my own with my mother-in-law, and it was a little tiny brokerage. So going from Century 21 to everything is done for you to eat what you kill, otherwise you get nothing. So I had to figure out how to market right away and do well with it. So this is one of the campaigns that Verl Workman came up with and shares with his coaching students. And so this one is one that you can implement very easily. They give you everything that you need as far as framework and action items to do. And so your job is to figure out who the 50 most productive influencers or promoters for you are going to be, looking at your database or looking at people that you can connect with in your community, either business owners, past clients, people you know through networking, that type of thing. You're going to curate a list of 50 people that will give you 2 referrals a year. Out of those 2 referrals, which is 100, right? Out of 100 referrals, hopefully you're able to close 86 transactions because they're good referrals, right? These are people that refer you every year, not just once, but they'll refer you multiple times. So in order to facilitate that, you need to curate that relationship. You need to make sure that you are treating them as VIPs that you want them to be, right? So this campaign, over the course of a year, every month it has activities for you to do, all the way down to weekly activities, all the way down to writing your list of people who, right, keeping track of who they referred, what did you give them back in return, as far as maybe a thank you gift or something. What kind of contacts are you making on a weekly basis with this group of 50? So how many contacts would you need to make over a month, right? That would be like almost 2 a day, or 2 a day if you're taking a day off, right? So you're going to have conversations with these influencers, and they're going to be people that you're going to get to know very well, right? You're going to know their family, you're going to know their kids, you're going to know what their hobbies, interests, that type of thing are, and find ways to come from service and not so much from sales as far as your contacts with these people. And that's what another coach of mine says is service before sales, right? Because that creates reciprocity on their side. When you do something for them, people want to do something back. But you don't want to come at them like, I'm your realtor, so, make sure you send me a lead. By the way, I work by referral, right? So you want to give them something of value and show that you have interest in them doing well as well. So let me go through this a little bit, right? 86 deals or more a year, right? And this is not a super pricey proposition, first of all, right? If you're going to lunch with a contact every day over the course of a month, right? It's like, let's say you did it Monday through Friday, that's 25 lunches. Well, that's half of your contacts. So maybe, that could be a way to implement this campaign. Lunch is not super pricey generally, or doing events and that type of thing. So you're going to see here what we're doing. The value of a client, it's cheaper to get referrals than it is to generate new clients. And so that's really the basis of why you would want to do this, right? You can see here the topic headers, these area headers, whatever you want to call it, kind of give you an overview of what I'm talking about, right? You're in sales. Doesn't matter what kind of sales you're doing. Basically, sales is what we do, right? Real estate is the widget, but really we're in marketing and sales. So you have to know how to have that conversation. You know how to get a client and retain the client. And then, the dreaded question, are you still doing real estate? That tells us we probably haven't done a great job of keeping in contact with our past clients. And those
people think that I've moved, actually. They're like, oh, you still live in Chico? And I'm like, just because I travel, it doesn't mean I'll move. So
Right. And that's
yeah.
the thing. Yeah. And I will tell you, like my first clients, I haven't changed my phone number for that reason. I probably could have and probably should have, but I still have my same phone number because people will call me that I've sold houses to 10 years ago. Right. And as a learning experience, just this last fall, I had somebody contact me that I had done a transaction with a few years ago. And they said, "Hey, are you still doing real estate?" And I was like, "Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
How can I help you?" But they still call me, right? I know I did a good job, but I'm not doing a good job of keeping in touch and keeping them in my top 50, right? So this is it's just a way for us to track that and make sure that we're being you know, being good about keeping track of these people, but also developing those relationships, because those are the best referrals you're going to get. You know, especially in the great exodus of the 20,000, 2000s, people leaving the state, there are a lot of people that are selling their houses and a lot of people that are going to be moving in that you have a chance to work with, right? So we have the Bay Area escapees and we have the people that are leaving. There's a lot of listings out there, but at the same time, people are coming our way. So you want to make sure that you are the one that they call. And I talk about that when I'm doing coaching. I talk about being the banana. And the idea behind being the banana is when you're in a grocery store, there are bananas in the produce section, right? But that's not the only place you see a banana, right? You also see bananas by the bread and the bakery aisle, by the milk, by the checkout stand. They're all over the store. And the reason is because they know that when you go into the grocery store, you may not need a banana right then, but you see it over and over. And you're like, oh yeah, there's bananas. And bananas turn really bad, really quickly. They go bad quickly. So their reason for putting bananas all over the store is to move that produce quickly, right? So maybe you didn't need that banana right away, but eventually you're going to need it and you don't have to go all the way back to produce. You can grab it while you're grabbing your milk. So the idea is that when you are in front of these people more frequently and you're having conversations with them more frequently, you're the person that they're going to think of. So if I say to you, fast food restaurant, who do you think of? What do you think?
Chipotle.
What did you say?
Chipotle.
Chipotle. That's not fast food.
Is it? I don't eat fast food. I don't know. In and out.
So most people, if you said fast food, they're going to say McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
Like right out the gate, most people will say McDonald's because they see that everywhere, right? It's the kind of thing. So if you say, where are you going to go get coffee? What do most people say?
Starbucks.
Still Starbucks, right? Just because they're everywhere. You see them all the place. They're in the grocery store. They're on a standalone corner, whatever. So it's the same kind of thing, right? You're going to want to develop that kind of marketing where you are having conversations and putting out information for these people on a regular basis so they don't forget about you, but they're also getting something from you, right? It's not, hey, I'm a realtor, but hey, what can I do for you? How are things in your world? And to give you those opportunities to have those conversations, you want to set up invitations to these people for different things, right? Yep. So the campaign is a way for you to have those monthly touches or those monthly conversations with people. And so you get by giving, as I was saying. So the top 50, there's going to be, like Brian Buffini has the client appreciation event. That's part of his marketing. Those kinds of things. Okay. So you can see there, it says the top 50 touch monthly initiative strategies. So I'm going to share that with you as well. We're going to keep moving because this is more about just who is the person that curated this. This is Verl, and this is Verl today, not Verl from 20 years ago. Now his sons also work in the business with him, but he has done a lot of really good coaching. And back then it was a call-in, right? There was no Zoom meeting or anything. It was here's the number for this week's call, and we would all call in and listen to Verl and have conversations with him. So he's been very successful. There's Terry Murphy. If you've ever heard of her, she has a very good marketing campaign for sellers and getting off-market listings as far as expireds and for sale by owner and that kind of thing. And then the other one, if you go through this, you're going to see is one about writing letters and personal cards, that type of thing. So again, this whole marketing campaign is about relationships and how to curate those, right? Customers do business with people they like, trust, and respect. And raising your profile just in their daily, you know, activities is what we're looking to do, and also give back value. So I'm going to skip way down here because what I really want you to see is the end of it. You can go ahead and read through all of this. I'm not going to give you a ton of data on this. I'm just going to scroll. Basically, this is the system they're putting in place. Letter Writer Plus is basically something that you can use to write letters, but on a commercial basis. So they actually copy your lettering. I've done this many, many years ago, to where the notes that they put out are written in technically your hand. They develop a typeface out of the model you give them. So whatever you write letter E, it's always going to be that shape E, that type of thing. Okay, so let's do this. Let's look at this one. This is page 19. So we've skipped quite a bit down, but I want you to see what we're doing. You're going to identify your top 50 list. You're going to put them in a contact manager, whatever CRM you're using, and tag them as top 50. Easy. And then you want to make sure that you have a personal touch with each of them once a month, right? So that's going to need to go into your time blocking. You're going to need to figure out where to do this activity. So look at your weekly schedule and where you're going to time block that. Okay, so schedule when you're going to need to have the next touch as well. So if it's an ongoing thing, right, you have 50 people that you're making a commitment to contact with, right? Have some sort of contact. And then a follow-up. So you're going to need to develop that as well, tracking when your next event will be, when that next communication will be. And then launch the letter writer. Again, like I said, you can do that, but you can also do it by hand. Okay, so different kind of touches, right? So one of the clients holds a wine and cheese party, tasting party every month, right? They have wineries and chefs come in and they'll do wine and food pairings, and every single month they invite their top 50 to the party. Do you think every 50 show up? No, of course not. But they know it's happening and they appreciate the invitation even if they can't come, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that even if they don't actually come every time, if they only make it once, they still know it's happening, right? And that sets you apart from what other people are doing. Agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. So other agents have done business book clubs where they develop a book club around their top 50. They create a networking group every month or every quarter, and they just network. So they set up a networking group, right? So you have scheduled activities where you're having personal communications with the people on your top 50 list. It's not so hard, right? Plus, think of it this way. I know it's work to put together an event, but it's also super satisfying, right? I'll give you an example. I do a cookie exchange every year in December. And that is the one time of year I get to catch up with all these people that I know, because a lot of them want to come. It's a family event, right? Kids like to do it. Parents like to do it. We put together a chocolate fountain. We have, the cookie tables and whatnot. One thing that you could add to something like that, and another realtor does, is she has photos with Santa at her office or at her space, right? So you could do that. You could partner up with a title company or a lender and do it at their office, right? Where people don't have to wait in line at the mall. They can just schedule a time with you to come and have a photo with Santa, which is just something nice for you guys to do. Plus, it gives you time to catch up. Maybe give them their Christmas card at that point or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that you can do, and you can make it seasonal if you want to. I know some agents give away Thanksgiving pies, right? You just sign up and they say, come get your pie, and you give out a free pie. There are a lot of things you can do. Okay. So make sure when someone sends you a referral, you personally pick up the phone and thank them, and then send them a thank you card with a personal note, right? That seems obvious, but it's not so easy to do executionally, right? Unless you time block it and you make time to do those kinds of things, or just send them a note. Even if, there was no referral or whatever, they haven't sent you anything, that's fine. Still send them a card. And I can attest to that. If you send people stuff, they're like, what? Oh, that was super nice of you. I just sent something out to a title rep this last week who helped me out. I didn't have an escrow with her, but we had an issue with a recording that went sideways, and it was a cloud on the title, and she helped me out. So I sent her something, right? Okay, so the Ford method. Do you know what the Ford method is?
The Ford?
Ford, F-O-R-D. It's an acronym for marketing thing. So it's a conversation, right? I call it warm with form when I'm coaching. You talk about family, occupation, and recreation, right? F-O-R. And the M gives them, that's the motivation. So 3 to 5 questions about their family, 3 to 5 questions about their occupation, 3 to 5 questions about what they like to do for fun. And that gives you kind of what their motivation is for making a move, right? In this case, Ford, the D is about dreams. So they're saying on this one, use that method for posting. Make 25% of your posts about your family, 25% about your occupation, which would be real estate or whatever your occupation is, 25% on recreation, and 25% on dreams, right? Or things you find interesting. And also you can do things that in the recreation or dreams category about things that are going on in your community, events that are happening, people that are teaming up for donations on various things like that. But people want to connect with you personally, and they want to get to know you, right? So as you post, those usually get shared, or you can ask them to share it if you're putting together something. Then I said, like, there's a big event, right? A VIP party, or they call it a CAP, Client Appreciation Party, is what Brian Buffini calls it. So the goal is every year to have an event, do appreciation events for people that are on your top 50, and do these about twice a year. It's key to be consistent and deliver great value. And that's the idea, right? You're trying to deliver value to these people that have already used you and like you and will refer you. And then the people who haven't done anything with you, you're going to work to replace those people. So the goal is every year to replace the people who don't send you business until the number of people you replace is 0. Right? So you want everyone in your top 50 to be focused on helping drive your business, as well as you helping drive their business, right? It's got to be reciprocal in some way. So when you're doing your top 50 list, identify the business people who you could send business to, right? That's what I was saying. Even if you don't have 50 yet, it would really help you to have those business relationships in your community, right? I have this cloud on a title I called the lender that I know and trust, and the lender said, hey, I've got a great title rep. Let me call the title rep and see if she can help you. And within 3 days, we had solved this problem that had been going on for 6 months, right? Just because we had a relationship in place. All right, so get by giving, and same thing, right? If 50 referrals go out, 52 referrals should come back in, right? So if somebody refers you, keep your eyes open, ears open for ways to help refer back to them, right? That just keeps the goodwill wheel turning. All right, I'm going to let you read the rest of this on your own because I know we're running out of time, but I do want to show you all the cool stuff. Are you ready? Yes, yes, yes. Now, I'm going to take this one off and I'm going to switch to the database that I wanted to share with you, the Excel file. So let me go grab that really quick and we'll go back to this. Hi, Curtis.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, good to see you. All right, let me see if I can get this on. Give me just a second. I'm going to open this up and make sure we are looking at the right thing because I have so many Excel spreadsheets going up right now. Okay, here we go. Let's get back to the meeting. Okay, here it comes. All right, do you see this? I'll make sure you can see what I'm seeing.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so can you see here how the activities are already in place for you? All you have to do is execute. You can tweak it if you want, but at least you have a starting point, right?
Right.
This is super cool. So you have activity 1, activity 2, right? Every month, take 2 of your top 50 to lunch. Great. But still, okay, every month. That means only 24 people out of your top 50 are going to lunch. So maybe throw in some cups of coffee in there. So additional things you can do, right? Always include photos or videos, etc., in social media if you're posting about it, right? So January, February, all the months are in here. Things you can do. I'm not going to go over it because you can look at this later, but I just want you to see it's already done for you in here. August, they're talking about renting a theater maybe, and this actually is super cheap. It's $100 to rent a theater. I've already checked it out.
Wow.
A movie for 20 people, right? So easy to do.
Really?
You can do this at a park too. I've done barbecues with my top clients. I've done tickets to a baseball game. Just really depends on how you want to do it. The client appreciation event, right? You can do a local park or picnic or go to a restaurant, maybe do like an after 5 get together or whatever. You can sponsor it with other local businesses, help get a little bit of exposure out for those other businesses or business partners that you work with anyway. It's a great way to do that. So take a look at some of those. Here's their October thing. Do a fall promotion. Like I said, somebody does pies. You can do porch decorating contests. There are a lot of ways to get involved with that. You can do a Halloween, pumpkin carving event if you want. November and December, right? So this is
Bank drop
for
off.
pie promotion. So a lot of these things can be used. Yeah, so the first one is a forward script. If you haven't talked to your past clients in a while, maybe start with the forward or do an apology script like, hey, I'm really sorry I haven't been in touch recently. How's it going in your world? I'd like to connect type of thing. Take a look at the bottom of the screen here. There's a top 50 list, and I'm just going to show you what this looks like. Okay.
Are you going to send this over in an email?
Yes, I am. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to shoot this out to everybody. You're all going to get it, whether or not you showed up. The top 50 referral list, and this is cool. It's a little drop down, right? So you can see, all right, what did I give this person when they sent me a referral? Whatever it is, right? You can add stuff in here if you do something different. And then there's a lookup table instructions. Make your top 50 list in column A. And then from the top 50 list tab, when you get a referral, be sure to put which of your top 50 it came from. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So people goes here, you figure out what they did, and then what kind of referral was it? Where did it go?
Right.
Yeah. So all done for you, right? I understand it's like one more thing to add to your business, but at the same time, it's already done for you, right? I mean, it can't get much easier. So I wanted to make sure that you guys all saw that what I'm saying and what they're telling you to do, they're already like put it all in place. It's all ready to go. You just need to plug the names in, make those contacts, and then implement.
So basically, this is just your old calendar, except it's done in here that you normally would have done by hand. Hey, this is a referral. These are the events I want to have. Because a lot of associations do those, is what I noticed, even when things were closed down. And now they're starting to have client appreciation. At one of the restaurants that I worked at, they actually, a lot of realtors and businesses come together, I think on once a month on Fridays, and just network there. Was a lot of, which is really good, actually, in Sacramento.
Yeah, exactly right. And so basically you're trying to become the center, right? Or part of their center, like one of
Right.
the main business referral people. Like they'll say, hey, Katie, I'm looking for a so-and-so. Who do you have? Who do you know? Hey, Curtis, I know you worked with so-and-so. They were really good. Could you give me their information? Whatever.
Right.
But you want to be the one that they come to when they need service, some sort of resource, right?
Right. And these are just ideals and templates to, you can take and utilize some or none or all, to be honest.
Well, yeah, right. The idea, though, is if you follow the calendar and you're looking at these activities, you should be able to get multiple referrals from these people. We're looking for 2 referrals from each of the 50 people, which would be 100 referrals a year, right?
Right.
And so out of that, average is they're closing about 86 transactions with those 50 people.
Okay.
It's different than geofarming. It's different than, any online marketing content you're doing. But at the same time, if you pair this with your online marketing and social media content, how much more are they going to notice you and remember you, right? Of what you're doing already. On the flip side of that too, social media is great, but it's the call to action there is not the same thing as an invitation. Like, hey, I'd like to get together. with just
Right.
you, right? Or, hey, I'm doing a special VIP Facebook group. I'd like to invite you to that. Right? It's another way that you can add on to this is say, for my very best clients and, my really great business partners or whatever, I have a special Facebook group. And inside that Facebook group, you can post these things and then share it out, right? But that just makes them feel better about working with you because they feel like you've singled them out as special. You're giving them a little extra attention. And that personal contact makes a huge difference when they're like, oh, who do you know? So-and-so, I'm thinking about moving. Who do you know? Oh, so-and-so is really great. They've done this and this, right? And I just went to a whatever that they hosted. So the more that you have those personal contacts, the more conversations you're going to have of, hey, what's going on in your world, right? Without saying, hey, I'm a realtor. Can I get a referral?
Right.
Not where you want to be, right? No one's going to pick up the phone if that's what they see every time you make a contact with them, right?
And if they enjoyed you, they're going to refer anyway. I mean, the one I just did referred someone, even though he didn't work out, he just decided he didn't want to do a home at this time. But the guy I just sold a home to actually referred someone. And the lady before that referred someone. But neither one of those two worked out because they're not ready yet, they said. They thought they were, but then they changed their mind. But
That's
it's still,
great.
that's great.
Yeah. So then you want to make sure that you properly thank them for that
I
referral.
did. Yeah.
Do something for them, give them something or whatever, make them feel special that was really nice of them. And we'd love you to do that again.
Right.
Because if they get
And
that
I'm glad you reminded me of that. I'm
positive
glad
feedback, they will want to do it again.
Yeah, you reminded me of that. So I need to send both of them something.
Right. And so that's what this does, right? It said, hey, that I think it was the third part of that Excel spreadsheet, right? You track, okay, where did that referral come from? And then what did you give them back? Movie tickets, a lunch, or whatever. What did
I'm
you?
going to do the movie tickets. I think that sounds good right now, going into the holidays.
Yeah, right. Anything. Like I said, the one that I've had very good success with and just connecting with people is the cookie party, right? At Christmas time.
Cool. Yeah.
We do just a cookie exchange. And it's not and I set up a table with pre-baked cookies. I have usually a couple of different kinds. One that's the kids really, really like is a snow globe, but I've pre-done the base is red and the globe is blue, and they can decorate it however they want, right? So the table is full of, different frostings and knick-knacky things sugary doodads they can stick on there.
Right.
It's a mess. They're covered in stuff, and they've eaten half their cookies before they get started, and whatever. I don't care. The kids have a good time. The parents like it. We get
Right.
to visit. Everyone brings their 2 dozen or a dozen cookies, whatever it is, takes home a plate of cookies. Their kids take home a plate of half assembled, half eaten, whatever they did, right? They're happy. The chocolate fountain and all of that, right? So it's not super hard to do. I mean, it does take a little planning, a little effort, but people know I do it. And every year they ask, when's the party? Because they know, right? And that's fantastic. That's what you want is they really liked it. They remember they want to come again. So when's the party? Last year we couldn't do it.
Right.
It was very sad. So this year we will. But just whatever's your style, right? Maybe you're not a cookie decorator. Maybe that's not your thing. That's fine. What do you like to do? Is it a barbecue? Is it a ball game? Is it bowling? Is it, whatever? Is it a wine party, pairing party, whatever you want to do? Okay. The idea is just to give the invitation. The more you send invitations, the more they're like, wow, that was really nice, right? They're going to remember you and those special events. They really do stick. So
Oh.
I wanted to share with you guys. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Okay. All right. I'm going to stop recording. Let me see here.